controversy over some old remarks ahead of Thursday's first debate between Presidents Biden and Trump. The fact-checking site Snopes finally debunking Democrats' claims that then-President Trump in 2017 called neo-Nazis and white nationalists, quote, very fine people. This was after a deadly protest in Charlottesville, Virginia, over the removal of a Confederate statue. Snopes now labeling that claim false, writing, quote, in a news conference after the rally, Trump did say there were very fine people on both sides, referring to the protesters and the counter-protesters. He said in the same statement he wasn't talking about neo-Nazis and white nationalists, who he said should be condemned totally. Let's bring in NewsNation media contributor Steve Krakauer. Steve, great to see you. Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Why is Snopes finally correcting this record 7 years later?
It's a great question. It was very curious to me when I saw it over the weekend, and it got to me. There's a few things at play here. First of all, technically, I guess when I really tried to dig in and say, why is this being done right now? There was a viral X post by someone named Sean McGuire, who's a partner at Sequoia, a San Francisco-based Silicon Valley venture capital firm, who recently announced about 3 weeks ago that he was going to be donating to President Trump, supporting President Trump, and laid it all out. And then last week, he shared this video and said, for the first time ever, I actually watched the context and realized I had it completely wrong. And people started saying, well, no, you didn't. Yes, you did. And so that kind of is the context here. But I think it's really interesting because, as you mentioned, this has become a massive talking point. It's become a massive talking point within the media more broadly, but also certainly among the Democratic establishment and Joe Biden himself, who I would imagine, if we had to just place bets on it, will make this mention of President Trump said that that neo-Nazis and white supremacists were very fine people during the Thursday debate. I would bet that happens. But now we know. I have to say, I watched the context years ago, 7 years ago, so I knew that this was about protesters and counter-protesters as it related to statues of Robert E. Lee or statues of George Washington. That was the conversation that was happening then. But that is very interesting because now he has a very reputable fact-checking site that says it's false. That is a false claim, a lie, if he then goes and says that during the debate.
This is concerning to me because you're right. It's a massive talking point from a reputable media outlet. President Biden even said that Mr. Trump's comments back then about Charlottesville was the reason he decided to run. Now, in retrospect, how does that look like?
I think it looks terrible, but I think that this is part of a pattern. You know, there are so many of these little moments, and I have to say, just to be fair, this happens on both sides, right? The left and the right. There's these little snippets, and then they become sort of the conventional wisdom. It reminded me a little bit of this idea that President Biden has said multiple times also about President Trump that he told you to drink bleach or to inject bleach, or I mean, you go look back at the context. The word bleach was never even mentioned at all. A lot more. I mean, we can go back. That could be the next segment we do, but these little snippets become talking points and they become the norm because, and it's really unfortunate, most people are not like you and I and not like President Biden. They're not news junkies. They're not consuming the news on a regular basis. So maybe they catch little moments and they believe that is true because that's what they find in these little snippets, whether it's a campaign ad or whether they see it on some other less reputable media news source than this one. And so I think that it is an important moment right now to step back and say, if you believe that this was true, if you believe that this is what he actually said, well, now you know it's not. And let's just think about, maybe we should look at the nuance, look into a little bit more context on a lot of the things that we just accept as true when it comes to things that are really politically charged.
I couldn't agree more with that statement, Steve Krakauer. Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.